I am Oden, and I was born to boil. I made a promise that when I did this video, I was gonna do the video like pure Chad pose, just the entire video was me doing this. Yeah. But I said, you know what? Let me just give you guys just a little sprinkle of cringe, but mainly epic, because that's what it is. That's what it truly is. When you have my boy CHADEN. Oh.
Holy Jesus.
Hello? What the hell just happened? CHADEN. Because at the very end, the man does smile as if he was a member of the D-Clan. Oh, wait a minute now. Hold on. I was anticipating like a manly man's frown for his final like a super, oh, no way, super frown. Like a Whitebeard final moments, he didn't laugh. He was like, no, just stood there, like a beast, glaive toe. One Piece, and he just stood like a champ. I was anticipating CHADEN to follow suit, but he did not. He actually smiled. So the theories now of the Kozuki clan having ties to the D family are not starting to spring up, but they themselves are not D's. So let's just say that the man smiled because he was that much of a beast. It is what it is. But in this video, I do want to take some time to really kind of go over and appreciate the guy, the man, the myth, the legend that is Kozuki Oden, aka CHADEN. Because this flashback, I said in a video prior to the flashback that this was going to be the best flashback in the entirety of the One Piece story, and I earnestly believed it. Now, in that video, I did state that it was going to be kind of paced out throughout the entirety of the Wano country arc, where it would kind of be one section and like 5 or 10 chapters would be specifically for the scabbards. They would shift over from the scabbards, let's say Whitebeard and Roger, because a lot of folks anticipate that Marco is going to arrive with Nekomamushi. And having a flashback then for Oden, and then having, let's say, another 10 or 5 chapters would have been like the Roger Whitebeard section of the flashback. And then finally, let's say, nearing Orochi's death, either involving Hiri or involving Orochi himself, or maybe even Kaido, we have another section of the CHADEN Oden flashback at the tail end of, let's say, like Act 4, maybe Act 5, who knows. So that's how I thought it was going to play out, and Oda was going to pace it out fairly well. However, we did not get that instead. What we get is a giant flashback, the longest flashback in the One Piece story. That's what this is. Beating out the Law flashback and the Robin flashback, the Kagura and Norland flashback. It beats out all the flashbacks when it comes to just the number of chapters. And you can clearly tell that Oda wanted to get it all in one go, which to me wasn't necessarily the best move. But at the same time, the focus of this flashback was clearly Oden. He was the main character. He was the eye of the storm, and all things circled around him. Even though we have the really cool chapters of Roger and Whitebeard, how he joins Whitebeard's crew, how he has to latch on, how he has to stick around, and then he runs into Toki after he fell off, and how he meets Roger's crew and how he gets blown back by Roger, but then hearing Roger talk about like the final island and his goal to get there, and being presuming the king of the pirates. We don't hear it, but let's presume king of the pirates and so on, how he was captivated by Roger. And so when you have an alpha male like CHADEN in the presence of two omega males like Whitebeard and Roger, it's understandable. I'll give him some slack there. And truth be told, things did get a bit shaky. I'll keep it real. Things did get a bit shaky after that point in time with the 5 years of dancing, and then the Kaido and Oden thing is a bit odd as well, because one would assume that Oden could beat Kaido, but as far as I can gauge, based on the actual context of what Oden is saying, the gap between Kaido back then and Oden was not too far off. It was like he was a full tier above the guy. But the Hour of Legends, woo, my goodness. And how it all caps off with that final dance. Came to the final words, but the people say it for him to boil. So let me say this here now. This flashback for damn sure does have some issues, absolutely. And I cannot say comfortably that this is the best flashback in One Piece, albeit it is the largest flashback in One Piece from a length standpoint, absolutely. But from the very beginning, this man is a truly larger than life figure. Something that is truly stupendous to behold. Where from the very beginning, his birth and upbringing have Big Mom and Katakuri vibes. Where with Katakuri, when he was born, the first thing, quote unquote, according to the legends, when he was first born, he sat on a chair. And for Big Mom, we know when she was 5 years old, she was smacking bears into oblivion. An entire town of giants could not stop Big Mom when she was 5 years old. Kozuki Chaden, my man, when he was born, he threw his wet nurse to the ground. When he was 4 years old, he threw a boulder at a bear. Big Mom smacked a bear when she was 5 years old. Kozuki Chaden hurled a boulder at a bear, killing it. You can truly see just how stupendous, just how magnificent of the character, how much larger than life he was from the very moment he was born. Like he was Sinbad from Magi. The heavens themselves, the trumpets played, the angels flapped their wings, a bright light shone over the entire country of Wano when Kozuki Chaden was born. From the very beginning to the very end, where the Hour of Legends, I mean, keep it real, it was a bit disheartening when I myself and many others thought that the Hour of Legends was the fight between him and Kaido. I was like, what? This is the hour? Wait, what? Hour of Legends what? But no. The Hour of Legends was chapter 971 and 972. Where my man Kozuki Chaden, an hour in boiling oil, temperatures reaching over 700 degrees Celsius. The man stood there for 1 hour, struggling. Struggling to hold his followers up on that board. And at the end of it, when he passes the test, and Orochi, the scumbag that he is, wants to, no, I changed it a minute ago to execution with firearms. He throws away. He throws away his men. Go! Don't look back, go! And Kaido, my bad for the old had her killed, but his body, according to Kaido, was no longer alive. So he had withstood that, and his body was no longer functioning properly. So it's safe to assume that if he was not killed by Kaido right then and there, Kozuki CHADEN would have had a very agonizing death a few hours later. And he goes out like a champ. You can't deny it. The man goes out like a champ. So not only was his beginning stupendous and his end stupendous, but also in between all of that, you can see how he's a Luffy-like type of person. Wow, uncontrollable, running all over the place, like, woohoo, let's explore, yeah, woo, freedom! From Wano, and yet a man with honor and pride from the very beginning with a hot pot, where he puts it over the guy's grave as a means of showing compassion and honor to a fallen friend, and then also preventing Kinemon from revealing the truth about what happened with the mountain deity, taking on the role of apologizing to the Kozuki clan with that 5-year dance, but at the same time scouting and looking, making sure that the folks of Wano were still okay, analyzing who was there and who was not there, who was captured and so on, making sure that the people were okay. You get that sense of his character changing. It's hard to grasp, it really is, because Oda spent a lot of time, he blitzed through that flashback, but you can tell that as a character, he did change from the beginning of the flashback before Whitebeard's ship, and then by the time he returned to Wano Country after his voyage on Whitebeard and Roger's ship, he changed as a person. You get a bit of that when it comes to his decision to leave Izo on Whitebeard's ship. And aside from the obvious things like his power that we see from the very beginning when he clashes against Whitebeard, or how the Roger Pirates and the Whitebeard Pirates liked Oden tremendously. When the Roger Pirates were seeing him off, they cried and they bawled just as hard as when Roger left. Aside from those obvious things, I also want to point out the fact that, yes, he's not exactly a very intelligent person. And you can see how it kind of ends off on a bad note because we know the result of his decisions in the 20-year time span after Wano Country, what Orochi and Kaido have done to Wano Country. However, what he did was for the sake of the people, and a lot of people that we put up there as great people or people of great importance to the overall story have done foolish things. Roger and Whitebeard were noted to do foolish things, and according to Kaido in that flashback, Oden's mindset was very similar to Roger and Whitebeard's mindset. Not only that, but look at, let's say, someone like Vivi, where Vivi, she wanted to help out the people of her country, and she wanted to save those lives, but Luffy had to smack her into reality because Luffy understood that what she was trying to do was foolish. Look at someone like King Riku, where King Riku had almost in a sense a utopia, where his country was very peaceful, though they lacked wealth and military might and so on. But what he did was for the betterment and for the sake of the people of Dressrosa. There are many characters throughout the entirety of the One Piece story that have honorable intentions, and things don't necessarily plan out well for them for X, Y, and Z reason. Sometimes outside factors, sometimes of their own choosing. But whether you like it or you hate it, it is a very distinct character component that we see throughout the history of One Piece and various One Piece characters. And CHADEN is a prime example of this. And I think in this case, Oda did execute it fairly well. Though it was rushed, Oda did execute it, I think, fairly well, because you do get a clear sense of what type of person he is. You truly do get a sense of how great Kozuki CHADEN is. And understand, CHADEN, he is the root cause as to why we are in Wano Country. CHADEN matters to very important characters in the real time, like Inuarashi and Nekomamushi, like the characters that we've been with since Punk Hazard, Momo and Kinemon, Kanjiro, Raizo. Remember, Raizo's still alive. Like, oh my god, how could this be? Neko and Inu lost limbs apiece, and Raizo was safe. And behind all of these spectacular moments, behind these characters that have been with us since almost the beginning of the time skip, was the man Kozuki Oden. And because Oden mirrors Luffy very well in not only himself as a character, but also in his men. The 9 red scabbards, you can say, are a direct parallel to the 9 Straw Hats, if you include Jinbei. So I can see in the future Luffy going through something that will mimic Oden's situation in some way. I'm not sure what exactly Oden's gonna plan, but I can definitely see something happening where Luffy and the Straw Hats will have to go through something very similar to what Oden had to go through. And I can see the Straw Hats doing what the Scabbards did not do. Ultimately, folks, I would say, again, I cannot speak for the entire flashback because it does have problems, obviously. But I would say that as a flashback character, for me, Kozuki Oden, aka CHADEN, is up there with Norland and Kagura in the Skypiea flashback. Those two are dope. Those two are very damn good. And they're standalone guys in a sense. They really are. Because they involve characters that are not too important to us, you know, like the Skypieans or like the Shandians and so on. Mont Blanc Cricket, he's a cool dude and all, but he's not that important to us as readers per se. But yet, the flashback was so good because Norland and Kagura were very good characters within that flashback. Oden, for me, is the same way, where he's a very strong, stand-alone character and doesn't necessarily need the weight of important characters to us in the real time to bolster, which is why I would argue that he's up there with those two as a flashback character. And more importantly, I think that his finale is better than the Corazon finale that we got for Dressrosa with Law. And I asked this on Twitter because I was curious, and Twitter has voted. I was surprised. I thought that I was going to be in the vast minority. I assumed that a lot of folks were going to vote in favor of Corazon, because Corazon's a beast. Rocinante's a beast. Keep it real. And he matters a lot to Law. But it's kind of like the parallel of, okay, which death is better in your opinion? Ace's death or Whitebeard's death? I prefer Whitebeard's death, honestly. Even though Ace is more emotional for Luffy's character, and Luffy is of course a character that we care about tremendously, Whitebeard's death is a more standalone death, and it's truly epic and tremendous, and it just has weight and impact and just hits hard. CHADEN's death is like that. CHADEN's like a Whitebeard, where Rocinante is like an Ace, in a sense. And even though I like Corazon's death, I think that Oden's death was just flat out better. Just flat out better. I can imagine in the anime, oh my god, bro, in the anime, yo, in the anime, they're gonna go so freaking hard when it comes to this. Why am I frozen again? I'm not following my rules on big black guy hopping around. May not be the best idea. The whole point here is this. It surprised me on Twitter when folks were genuinely voting for Oden over Corazon. And Corazon, Rocinante's death, though was tremendous, and it means a lot for Law, and a lot of folks care about Law, duh, Oden's death won. I'm telling you, man, Oden's death, woo, I love it. I like it. It was great. Fantastic through and through. I think when it comes to this flashback, when it comes to defining the person that Kozuki CHADEN was, the magnitude of the character, from beginning to end, Oda did a pretty good job. There are some issues, obviously, but honestly, yeah. I definitely enjoyed what Ichiro Oda did for my man, Kozuki Oden, aka CHADEN. But let me know your stance on the subject matter at hand. Be sure to rate the video. It is not that hard to do. I guarantee you that, because I know that you all have a device called Zamaosu. You use Zamaosu to click, rate the video, to click, subscribe, to click on that bell to the squad. And of course, as always, feel free to please do comment in the comment section down below. Peace and have a nice goddamn day.